In late September 2024, Apple released the 4th generation of the now ubiquitous AirPods. 2 versions were announced, one with active noise cancelling and one without. Depending on your perspective and your choice in phone, this announcement might have been greeted with excitement, curiosity, or with DJ Khaled's iconic catchphrase, "Another one?" For the intrigued and excited, you might be wondering whether the ANC brings anything new to the table. I'm Vanessa from RTINGS.com, and today we'll help you answer questions like, is the ANC worth it? Is it possible to have all the bells and whistles without the cons of open-back earbuds? And will I be able to flip them when the AirPods Pro 3 come out? We've tested both the ANC and regular versions with firmware update 7b19. And look, Apple has probably dropped 6 other firmware updates in the time between filming this video and posting it. But one thing's for certain, a firmware update doesn't change the fit. Apple's design philosophy can be summarized as, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They feature the same sleek plastic open-back build of the last generation of AirPods 3, with short stems and brushed aluminum accents. As always, if you don't like the color white, then that's just too bad. There are some clear differences between these and the AirPods Pro though. In lieu of differently sized silicone ear tips and an in-ear fit, you have a one-size-fits-all design that Apple claims is based on extensive research on different ear shapes. While they may be comfortable enough for most folks, the fit is less accommodating if you have larger or smaller ears. We found them stable enough for light exercise, but others online have reported issues with them falling out. As with other Apple products, these exhibit a sturdy build quality that'll see both the buds and the case survive light drops and bumps. Both have an IP54 rating too. They'll persevere in the face of rain showers or dusty trails. Their force-sensor control scheme will be familiar to seasoned AirPod users. This technology requires you to gently squeeze the stems to input commands, which is great for avoiding accidental presses. While the controls are easy to come to grips with, there's no way of adjusting the volume without doing so on your device, which seems like an oversight. Now let's cut straight to the chase, the ANC performance. The previous generation AirPods 3 are open-backed, but lacked ANC, so their noise isolation performance left a lot to be desired. Most ANC-equipped buds, like the AirPods Pro, rely on a combination of an in-ear seal and noise-canceling technology to isolate you from the outside world. The AirPods 4 are the exception to this rule though. With the ANC feature disabled, they perform similarly to the previous generation, and of course the non-ANC variant. But with this feature engaged, they're able to block out an impressive amount of ambient noise. They attenuate background conversations and street noise well. Most surprisingly, they do a great job of blocking out low-frequency sounds like engine rumbles on a plane. Their noise isolation performance isn't quite up to par with the AirPods Pro 2, but it's not too far off either. We also have to point out firmware update 7b19. It brought some significant improvements to noise isolation across the board. Apple tends not to divulge their firmware secrets. However, we measured some noticeable differences in bass and mid-range attenuation after the update. Now, there's a laundry list of features unique to the ANC version that the Apple offers to help you ignore the outside world, and some that help you interact with it. We're going to break these down for you now, but in quick-fire mode. There's good old-fashioned transparency mode, which filters in external noise via the mics, so you can hear your surroundings. It doesn't sound quite as natural as with the AirPods Pro 2, but it still works extremely well. Adaptive audio builds on this. You can switch between 3 different noise profiles to determine how much external noise gets filtered into your audio. Then, there's also conversational awareness, which detects when you speak and blends in more external noise so you can order a coffee without learning how to lip read. When it comes to connectivity, it's no surprise that these work better with an Apple device. They still work with Android devices, but most connectivity features are exclusive to iOS. The H2 chip enables seamless multi-device connectivity and automatic ear detection, which switches over call audio once the AirPods are in your ears. The case charges via a USB-C cable. Unfortunately, this is a BYOC situation. There's no USB-C cable provided. The case also lacks a magnet, so it'll slide off the MagSafe charger, but it'll still charge wirelessly. So what's the deal with sound? Open-back buds usually have a few things in common here, as the lack of an in-ear seal often results in a tinny sound that lacks bass. The Bose Ultra Open and even the last generation Apple AirPods 3 are good examples of this. But the 4th time's the charm, and Both versions of these buds buck the trend with very respectable bass extension. 808s won't boom quite the way that they do with the AirPods Pro 2, but you can still feel kicks and bass lines as they punctuate your mixes. The mid-range is detailed and balanced too, ensuring that vocals and podcast dialogue sound oh so clear. Of course, there had to be a caveat, and in this case, it's the veiled treble response. The response is underemphasized across the entire range, so sibilants like cymbals sound dull and lifeless. On the upside, these AirPods can deliver very consistent audio once they're correctly placed in your ears. Unsurprisingly, Apple has a few extra tricks up their sleeves when it comes to sound. Once again, iOS users will experience a slightly different frequency response, as the always-on adaptive EQ feature introduces a loudness contour. In short, this alters the sound based on your volume, encouraging you to keep the volume low by counteracting the perceived lack of bass and treble at high volumes. To add further confusion, there's also a personalized volume feature. This feature is like having your own personal mix engineer bring the volume up and down depending on how loud your surroundings are. If you find this thought unnerving, you can always switch this off though. Those of you hoping for a graphic EQ will also be disappointed. There's limited scope for sound tuning via the iOS accessibility menu, which gives you just a few basic presets. At this point, some of you might be thinking, more features? How is this even possible? Well, I promise you we're near the end of the road. Both the AirPods 4 and the ANC variant come with two different spatial modes that can add an immersive quality to your tunes. The fixed mode locks the position of the soundstage in one place, so the orientation of the stereo field doesn't change when you move your head. Head tracked, in comparison, will follow the position of your head and shift the soundstage around relative to how your head is angled. Then, there's also personalized spatial audio, which requires you to take a video of your ears and head in exchange for a customized virtual soundstage experience. Subjectively, we didn't notice much of a difference with this feature, but like all things, it might take some time to adapt. It's worth discussing battery life here too, as it might leave some of you wanting. With ANC on, they clock in at 4.5 hours with an extra 4 charges in the case. Not bad, but hardly game-changing. Of course, battery life depends on a few different factors. Switching the ANC off, for example, can gain you around 2 hours more battery life per charge. Their microphone performance is okay too, rendering your voice in a slightly boxy, though understandable way. With moderate background noise, it can help carve your voice out from busy surroundings like a bustling coffee shop. However, louder noises, like passing subway cars, can easily overpower your speaking voice. Finally, it's worth noting that these AirPods don't leak nearly as much audio as you'd expect from open-backed buds. Even if you're cranking your tunes, it'll be hard for others around you to hear them unless you're in an extremely quiet environment. So, the big question, are these AirPods worth picking up? Well, if you're already an iOS user who doesn't already own the AirPods Pro 2, they're certainly an enticing proposition. They're also a great choice if you don't like the invasive nature of an in-ear fit. Their ANC performs admirably well for open-backed earbuds too, and the smorgasbord of features available at a lower price point than the Pro 2 makes them a good value pick. Plus, if you don't need the ANC feature, you can cop them for $50 less, which is a great deal for those that dislike or don't even need ANC. However, even with firmware update 7b19, they lack the Pro 2's ability to function as hearing aids, a feature currently limited to certain countries. The veiled treble response won't be everyone's cup of tea either, and there's still better ANC to be had in the in-ear fit of the Pro 2. If you're looking for truly open buds that are designed to let in external noise while you weave through busy streets, the Bose Ultra Open Earbuds are worth a shout. Sure, you could use the transparency mode on the AirPods 4, but they're not designed for this purpose. The Bose don't have an ANC feature though, so you're out of luck in case you had enough of the outside world. And there's not much in the way of bass either. So that's all we have for today's review of the AirPods 4 ANC. If you're interested in learning more, check out the written review linked in the description box below. Until next time, I'm Vanessa from Ratings.com, where we help you find the best product for your needs. Goodbye! But fourth time's a charm. Fourth time is the charm. Fourth time is the charm. But the fourth time is the charm. Is that? But the fourth time's the charm. But fourth time is the charm. Wow, that didn't even sound natural that time. But fourth time's the charm. Fourth time's the charm.